You represent the plaintiffs?
Yes, Your Honor.
And attorneys Horn and Clarence Thomas Jr. You represent the United States Department of Justice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. We shall proceed with opening arguments, beginning with the plaintiffs.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today, you will hear compelling evidence that will irrefutably demonstrate that African Americans, descendants of enslaved people, are entitled to reparations for the systemic injustices supported by the Department of Justice. And not only them, but all three branches of government. If you would, for a moment, just close your eyes and take a trip back in time. Imagine 240 years of slavery, where our ancestors were not seen as human, but as property. I mean, they labored tirelessly, day in and day out, to build this nation. Yet, their contributions have been systematically dismissed. Today, even in the face of progress, we are still witnessing the lingering effects of white supremacy, when some still view the black race as inferior. Now, this is not just an affront. It is a historical injustice that demands redress. African Americans were pivotal in the creation of this nation, including Benjamin Banneker, a black man who was instrumental in designing our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where the self-proclaimed orange-faced clown king sits. So it is time that we reject the negative stereotypes that label the black race as lazy or unintelligent or monkeys. It is those narratives that are the true injustices. Now, some people may argue that mistreatment entitles everyone to reparations. But I ask, can we equate the suffering of those who were terrorized, captured, and forcibly brought here with the struggles of others? Let's try these numbers on the side. Over 1.8 million of our ancestors perished on slave ships before reaching American soil, while those who survived were brutally uprooted from their families to construct this nation stone by stone and crop by crop, all without compensation. No other group has had to endure such a history of enslavement, dehumanization, and systemic oppression for 240 years. Ladies and gentlemen, today, my team and I will introduce to you expert witnesses whose testimonies will illuminate the depth of our claim. You will hear the evidence that reveals a stark truth. This nation has paid reparations to other marginalized groups. Let's consider these facts. $1.2 billion was awarded to Japanese Americans for their unjust treatment during World War II. $32 million was paid to the Ottawas of Michigan. And $105 million was given to the Sioux Nation of South Dakota for land that was unjustly taken. Yet, for Black Americans, descendants of enslaved people, there has been silence. No restitution for the unimaginable suffering endured. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, we, the people of the African American community, demand accountability, justice, and the reparations that were rightfully owed. We are seeking $18 trillion in compensatory damages and an additional $32 trillion in punitive damages. Don't look so smug, attorney, huh? This is not some arbitrary figure.
Yeah, where'd you get the numbers?
Yeah. It reflects the profound injustices that has echoed throughout generations. Imagine if we can summon voices from the past. Witnesses who have lived the realities of slavery and its aftermath. Ladies and gentlemen, today, you will hear from none other than Harriet Tubman, a woman whose courageous journey as an escaped slave transformed the lives of countless individuals. You will hear from Emmett Till, a symbol of an innocent lives lost to brutality, whose tragic story exposes the systemic failures that have allowed such horrors to persist. And W.E.B. Du Bois will share insights from his groundbreaking work, highlighting the economic disparities that still plague the Black community. Remnants of a legacy that continues to hinder progress. Oh, this case transcends individual narratives. It is a reckoning with America's original sin, slavery, and its enduring consequences that have shackled Black Americans for far too long. Now, we are not merely asking for reparations here. We're demanding the recognition of the pain and suffering that has spanned generations. We seek justice for families torn apart, for wage gaps that have never been addressed, for Black veterans denied their rightful dignity and benefits, and for discriminatory practices like redlining that have systematically bar African Americans from home ownership and generational wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, consider this shocking truth, that financial institutions, such as those affiliated with J.P. Morgan, once used enslaved individuals as collateral for loans. Now, this is not some historical footnote. It is a profound testament to the economic exploitations that continues to haunt us. Oh, we will present overwhelming evidence that demonstrates why African Americans, descendants of enslaved people, deserve compensation. This talk about reparations is not new. It dates back to 1861. But today we press forward to the justices that have been long delayed. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you, Counselor. We will now hear opening arguments from the United States Department of Justice, the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I get into my opening arguments or remarks, etc., I'd like to say that I am biracial. My father is Black, and most of you all know him, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas Sr.
Objection.
And I have a sweet, beautiful white mother. I acknowledge that in open court to communicate that I can be fair.
That's fair. Did I hear you, Counselor, say that you can be fair because you have a white mama? Let me tell you something. What do you want? A cookie and a t-shirt because your mama is white? Well, I got a sweet Black mama, and I can be fair and impartial. Listen, your biracial status has no room in these proceedings. It does not matter. So here's what I suggest for you to do. Stick with the facts that are pertinent to this case. Do you understand me?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, we find ourselves in a courtroom the United States stands as a defendant against a claim for reparations for historical injustices. A sum being asked for is staggering, unprecedented in legal history. Now the plaintiff here promises to bring forth witnesses who face accusations themselves and controversy. Yet, there have been atrocities committed against individuals. But we must consider the context of history and the societal norms at that time. Now, the plaintiffs will present a narrative that highlights the suffering of those who believe that they were unjustly brought to this land. However, we must acknowledge the complexity of historical events. Now, it's undeniable, yes it is, it's undeniable that injustices occurred, but the actions taken was a reflection of the collective consciousness that sought national growth. Howbeit, at a tremendous cost. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today you will hear two narratives. One will speak to the grievances of those who have felt the weight of oppression. Another will present a perspective. I say a perspective that recognizes the difficult choices made throughout this nation's history. The question that we grapple with is whether financial reparations are realistic or a mere reaction driven by emotion rather than historical accuracy. I like to say, without question, that the plaintiffs has no case. Yeah, they talk about reparations. Reparations. Who's gonna pay? Huh? Who's gonna pay? All the alleged perpetrators are dead, 6 feet under, gone. Who's gonna pay? You? I'd just like to say and emphasize without question, the plaintiffs has no case. Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
And thank you, Counselor. We will proceed. Plaintiffs, will you bring forth your first witness?
Yes, Honor. We would like to call the Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois to the stand. W.E.B. Du Bois? Yes, sir.
Sir, it's such a pleasure to finally meet you. I read your #1 selling book, and I want to tell you, thank you for your contribution to the U.S. Matter of fact, thank you to your contribution to the world. While I have you standing, sir, can I get you to raise your right hand, place your left hand upon the digital Bible? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God. I do. You may take the stand, sir.
Dr. Dubois, I'd like to begin by saying an
extreme honor for you to be a key witness in this particular case today. However, I'd like to know, and I'd like to ask you, your original place of birth is?
Great Barrington, Massachusetts.
And is it also true that you are an honorable graduate of Fisk University?
Yes, that is true.
And it is also true that you are the pioneering African American to earn your PhD from Harvard University.
That is true.
Dr. Dubois, is it not also true that you are the visionary genius behind the founding of the NAACP and member of the so-called Niagara movement?
I am.
Dr. Dubois, your particular testimony would be invaluable to us. Will you please share it with the jury and tell your perspective?
Yes. I grew up in a small black community in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, in a predominantly white town, but I was treated like anyone else in Great Barrington. When I was young, I took a train south to Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. When the train crossed over into Maryland, it stopped, and the conductor walked over to me and he said, "Young man, you must go to the back of the car with the rest of the Negroes." That's when I knew things were very different in the South. When I arrived in Nashville, the white people gave me these angry looks and they called me names and they ridiculed me, all because of the color of my skin. Then I walked onto the campus at Fisk and I was surrounded by people that looked like me. But they were in a toxic environment. But despite that environment, I finished in the top of my class. I then returned to my home state of Massachusetts to go to Harvard University. But to my surprise, Harvard would not accept many of the credits that I had earned at Fisk. They said Fisk was not equal to Harvard. And then to add insult to injury, they wouldn't allow me in the library or any of the buildings after dark. Because black people weren't allowed in the buildings after dark. So I had very limited research and study time. But despite that, I finished in the top of my class.
Yes.
I then earned a scholarship to go abroad, so I chose what many believed to be the best university in the world at that time, the University of Berlin. After several weeks touring around Germany, I felt like just a human being and not a type or kind of human being. And I thought to myself, what would it be like if the white people in America behaved like this? My scholarship allowed for me to attend the University of Berlin for 2 semesters, but the rule was that you had to go 3 in order to get your PhD. Many of my professors fought for me. They said I had extra credits from Harvard, but the University of Berlin said Harvard wasn't equal to the University of Berlin. I couldn't catch a break. So I returned to the United States. I eventually went back to Harvard, and I became the first African American to graduate from Harvard with a PhD. Now I was Dr. Du Bois. You would think with this advanced education that I had acquired that I could go anywhere in the country and get a position as a professor. But when I applied, they told me one of 2 things. They either said I was overqualified, or they said, "Dr. Du Bois, we don't hire Negroes as professors." Later on in my career, I was called on by the University of Pennsylvania to perform what was to be the first social study of African Americans in history. It was the study of the Negroes of the 6th Ward in Philadelphia. And the white people in Philadelphia believed these Negroes were animals. They were inhuman. But through my studies, I proved something very different. The Negroes of the 7th Ward didn't eat healthy food. They didn't live in good conditions. They didn't get very much sleep. And they didn't have health care. And how could they get good jobs with little to no education or vocational skills? That was the problem for the Negroes of the 7th Ward, and honestly, that was the problem for many African Americans across the country. Another rising problem at that time was the lynching of black men. Black men were being lynched at alarming rates. Every time I heard of a lynching of a black man, it was like a scar on my soul. There was no evidence, there was no trial, they just killed them. So I set out to do something about it. Initially, I formed the Niagara movement, but it was not big enough or strong enough to combat the racism in this country. So my colleagues and I formed the NAACP, which is still around today, fighting for the civil rights of people of color across the land. The problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line.
Dr. Dubois, in your opinion, why do you understand and know our value in having reparations?
Well, reparations are not about just financial gain or financial stability. Reparations talk about the history, they acknowledge the history of injustices to African Americans since 1619. African Americans have contributed to this country, its wealth and its culture. And I believe that they haven't been treated fairly and equally. As a matter of fact, they've been disfranchised in this country. And so reparations is a step in the right direction, but it isn't the total answer to every problem.
You're right. So I say thank you, Dr. Boyce. No further questions.
Thank you, Dr. Boyce.
Defense, we have questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Let's get to the heart of the matter, Will. I hope you don't mind me calling you Will, Bill, or Willie. I know that you have moved to Ghana and maybe you have adopted an African name.
My name is Dr. Du Bois, sir.
Okay. Well. Dr. Du Bois. Dr. Du Bois. Let's get straight to the facts. Is it true that you moved to Ghana and became an African citizen? Now I say, if that's the case, what gives you the authority to testify about American business? You, Dr. Du Bois, choose to leave this country and embrace citizenship in an African nation. Now, I know I share some sentiments with other black individuals who was frustrated with this country. Frustrated. After all, this nation has went out of its way to be accommodating, providing opportunities that some seem to overlook. I say, if you don't appreciate it, perhaps you want to consider returning to Africa and living in one of your, how should I say this, one of your traditional huts.
Well, in America, and most of my work affected America. And if you use the brains that God gave you, you would know I had dual citizenship. My beginnings were in Africa. Matter of fact, young man, human life began in Africa. Africa is the continent of kings and queens. That's the kind of royal blood I have running through my veins. And if you did your research, you would know that I'm African American, and I'm black, and I'm proud.
Black and proud.
Absolutely.
Do you know if you're black, American, African American? Who are you? Huh?
If you could see, you would see what I am.
Your Honor, no more questions for this witness, because I got files right here that he's a spy.
Objection, Your Honor, bad training. I have files that his daddy is a crook.
Counselors. You may sit down. Dr. Du Bois, before you leave the stand, first of all, I need to apologize for the rude, inconsiderate, ignorant questions from the defense. Yeah, I could go on, but the defense, yes. But listen, you are one of the greatest minds that has walked this earth in this country. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for agreeing to come back through time to share your witness. You may be excused.
Thank you.
Attorneys for the plaintiff, you may present your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we would now like to call Harriet Tubman to the stage. And maybe, if you wouldn't mind, since she is extremely old, could use an assistant.
Sure. Did you say Harriet Tubman?
Harriet T. Harriet.
Hurry up, what's taking so long?
Apologies for sudden. I'm here.
All right, then. Ooh, you sure is a good-looking piece of chocolate.
Are these your nails?
Yeah, I got down there to the Chinese store. They told me to go down there and get my nails done before I came to the courthouse.
Where did you really good job?
A bang, yeah.
While I have you standing, can I get you to raise your right hand and place your left hand upon the digital Bible?
Digital, what kind of mess is this?
Since you've involved in this new technology, but you're actually touching the book of Numbers.
My numbers, all right, don't number me.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah, sir.
You can take the stand, sir.
Hello, Miss Tubman? Miss Tubman? Hello? Hey.
What, boy?
I am so sorry to disturb you, but could you please just state your entire name and age for the audience, please, and the jury?
Well, my name is Harriet Tubman. I got the Harriet name from my mama. And my daddy was a Ross. They first named me Amanita Ross. But I took on my mama name and I became Tubman after I married that last husband.
And your age, Miss Tubman?
Come here. Don't you know you ain't supposed to ask my damn her age?
Sorry about that, Miss Tubman. So, first of all, I just want to thank you. It is truly an honor to meet the woman called Moses herself. You know, Miss Tubman, your testimony is more than just a historical account.
That's right.
It is your personal testimony to your lived experience. An experience of a horror yet resilience. Would you mind in your own way just sharing your story with the court?
Yes, I don't mind, but I'm gonna have to do it in a younger voice.
However, proceed.
They say once a slave, always a slave. You born a slave and you die a slave. See, that's the logic master gave. Oh, to try to make the slaves behave. Though I was born a slave, my mind was always free, and that's what freed the rest of me. They chanted, go down, Moses. They tried to slow down Moses. Oh, and when they never found Moses, stay Two brothers, one sister, they turned out freedom all. I told them to hold their head up, be free and stand tall. Third trip back, I found out my husband had another wife. But I don't want to get me down, I'm gonna stand up and fight. I fought for freedom, I fought for women's rights. I fought for everything that could stand up and fight. From slavery to freedom, that's just the life I live. I aim to live my But thank God I didn't die a slave. That's the logic Master gave. Oh, try to make the slave behave. Though I was born
Bravo, Miss Tubman.
That's my name, not my initial. I give up with toilet tissue.
That was quite the performance. Surely, you don't believe this courtroom's going to be swayed by theatrics now, do you?
Well, I was just stating the facts, sir.
You were stating the facts.
Uh-huh.
Okay, why don't we dive into that? Would it be factually correct to say that you, yourself, were a wanted criminal?
You know, I did hear there was some people that was pursuing me.
Pursuing you
Uh-huh.
for the crime of stealing slaves.
The devil
correct?
is a lie, the devil is a
Answer the
lie.
question, Miss Tubman. Answer the question.
Well, for bringing some people through slavery.
So you broke the law
What and all?
by stealing
What and all?
and smuggling humans throughout the country. Let me ask you this, Miss Tubman. Are you a coyote?
Well, I use a wolf, sir.
Am I a wolf? Have you not seen me, Miss Tubman? I'm clearly a shark.
You a shark, all right, baby shark.
You call us a credible witness? You call that credible? She's been asleep half the time.
Mr. Chapman, answer the question. Well, Judge, I did what I had to help my peoples. And I did bring them to the Underground Railroad. I was tired of them going through the atrocities of slavery. So I did what I had to do to help my peoples.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Tubman. Counselor, make sure the next witness is credible. I have no more questions for this witness.
Sit down.
Bailiff, you can get her off the stand. Honestly, she needs to go.
You sit down.
No, this is...
Always cracking our back. You see me cracking our back. Cracking our back.
If there are no more further questions for Mr. Chapman, you
So she's
wish
going
to
to address
cross?
some credible witnesses next
Yes,
time.
you have a rebuttal?
Thank you, Your Honor. Brother Tubman, due
Oh.
to the fact that you ancestors sojourner were eyewitnesses to slavery, could you please elaborate more and tell us more of your story?
Yes, I will, baby. You know, for many years, I would see Master and his boys whoop our boys sometimes from sun up to sundown. And then they would have them walk out there in the fields in the hot sun and wouldn't even give them a drink of water. And then Master wife, she didn't like our black girls because you know they were shaped up and everything. Master couldn't keep his hands off. So you know, one day I said, enough is enough. And I got tired. And I took my peoples to the Underground Railroad. And if I had to do it again, and I mean that.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Very well.
Thank you.
You may escort Mr. Chapman.
Come on here, chocolate boy. Let me go on back to the grave. You know what? It's been a long time since I've been close to a man. It would be nice if you would accompany me back to my coffin. Look at you.
She should have been on American Most Wanted.
Your man.
That's right.
You know what? I think we can have some tea and crackers in my coffin, and maybe I can teach you a few things, you know, under the candlelight. I know you all have another witness coming.
You okay, baby?
I do solemnly swear to never, ever in my life escort a woman who has been dead as long as married anywhere. I mean, I've been to her underground, and it sure as heck went a railroad.
Button up your shirt. Zip up your pants. What's wrong with you? What did you do?
I just walked down the street to show
To
her
the
around.
street.
To show
No,
her around.
you were not to leave the building.
She wanted to find her damager. I had to take her to Macon, Georgia to find her damager.
Get yourself together.
I'm back. I mean, I'm here. I'm gonna go along with it. No, I apologize.
Speak to the man. Plaintiff, do you have any further witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, we have one witness left. We would like to call Emmett Till to the stand.
Emmett Till, does he need assistance?
And actually, yes, he is partially blind, so bailiff, if you might help me with it.
Sure, not a problem.
You gotta understand, this mother's, her grief is around this horrific circumstances in which her son was killed. Anyone would grieve this way.
Attorney, I understand, but listen, if you had wanted her testimony to be a part of these proceedings, then you should have subpoenaed her. Since you did not, her voice is stricken from the record. I want no further disturbances in this courtroom. And if there are, more than all of you, if there are any more disturbances, I will clear this courtroom.
Yes,
Do you understand me?
yes, ma'am.
Mama, you don't have to worry 'cause I'm okay. I couldn't say God knew the day my life would be over. Mama, what happened to me was meant to be for all to see. The hate that be in life's inhuman horror. You stood by me through the end, proclaimed my innocence to the end, and nobody loves me like you do. Mama, there's no one on earth like you, like you. Mama, I know you're hurting, but you did all you could, like a mother would. For me, you stood. Mama. While I understand it, can I get you to raise your right hand? you love upon a digital Bible. And you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
You can take the stairs.
Emmett, would you please just restate your name and your age for the jury, please?
My name is Emmett Lewis Till, and I was 14.
14. Emmett, my heart truly goes out for any young man to experience what you have experienced. It's just simply, it's horrific. If you wouldn't mind, would you just share details of your story with the court today? I mean, it is one that everyone truly needs to hear.
Well, it was the summertime of 1955 in Argo, Illinois. And I was mighty excited about going down south to see my uncle, Mose riding on in Mississippi, but my mother wasn't too sure about me going down there because of the racial tensions. But I begged her to let me go. So she let me go. And as soon as I got down there, my uncle told me how things were different in the north than they were in the south, but I guess I didn't understand. All I know is that one day, I was outside of Carolyn and Roy Bryant's corner store, and I was showing a picture of my white classmates and how things are just different in the north than they were in the south.
Wait a minute, Emmett. You were just showing a picture of your white classmates and you just getting along. Go ahead.
There are so many accounts of what people say happened in that store. But all I know is that I didn't whistle at anybody.
You did not whistle at anybody.
And Carolyn Bryant thought I did. They came to my uncle's home and threatened to shoot him if he didn't let me go. So he let me go. And those men, they beat me.
They beat you.
They shot me.
And then they shot you.
They gouged out one of my eyes.
And then they gouged out one of his eyes.
They tied my body to a metal fan in the Tallahatchie River. I was returned to my mother in a wooden box. And as for those men, they were found not guilty due to an all-white jury.
Emmett, again, you were how old?
14.
So, Emmett, what did you aspire to be when you grew up? A doctor? A lawyer? Singer? Maybe even a movie star? But all those dreams were taken away from you simply because of his skin in America. Because he's a 14-year-old black boy whose dreams were just shattered because of an alleged act. Your witness, counsel.
Gee, thank you. Mr. Till, what a harrowing story indeed. You said you're from up north, correct? Illinois?
Yes, I was.
And you were so excited. He was so excited to go down south and visit his great uncle Moses Wright in good old Monet, Mississippi, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Now, didn't your mom, didn't she warn you about the rules in the South being different from those in the North? That there was a code of conduct that you were supposed to follow when you were down there?
She did, but I guess I didn't.
And you just said that when you were down there, you were with kids, and you were showing them a picture of you with your white classmates. Is this true?
Yes.
And you were bragging.
I was bragging. I was bragging.
Objection.
No matter how much time went by, retribution was inevitable.
Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
I will blow you to smithereens. I will put a fine on you that neither Honda, Trump, nor Musk can pay to play with me. Any rebuttal?
No, Your Honor, but we have to make a statement here. Your Honor, this was before we even finish, can you go ahead and escort Mr. Till off the stand? He's going for enough. Well, you should know better.
Don't you try me!
Your mama should have known better. Shut up.
Your Honor, this was a 14-year-old boy who allegedly whistled at a white woman, which he denied. You know, and for Attorney Hall here to grill him the way he did and insist that what those white men did was justified was absolutely ludicrous. How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself.
You can't talk to me like this.
No, I am talking to you like this. Now look.
You two are acting like clowns in a circus, like you're in a boxing ring. I've had enough of both of you. This is a trial, a proceeding, a civil proceeding. Listen, don't you make me take off this robe, come down off this bench, and give you a piece of this 5-foot package of dynamite! I've had enough! You have anything else?
Your Honor, actually, we would like to enter into evidence 2 documents, which states that Carolyn Bryant admitted that she lied, that he did not whistle at her, that he did no wrongdoing whatsoever.
Your Honor, they can't submit evidence without us knowing about it.
Your Honor, it has a signature notarized right
I
here.
see. Do you want to take a look at this?
No, we're fine.
In the evidence from our president.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to present the documents, and it's a dossier. This dossier details the groups that have received reparations in this country and other countries due to the injustices that they have suffered. I've also included corresponding numerical figures. Your Honor, I would like to highlight the fact of the disadvantages stemming from the insufficient funding of African American communities and HUBCs, historically black colleges. It is our responsibility as a people to write and to protect the education of our youth. No one is responsible for our children but us. And I implore you to please understand that there are still people who are profiting from the enslavement of African people. They're making gross amounts of money at the expense of our ancestors. I submit this to the court.
Your Honor, this is...
I see. Okay, Hong and Thomas, would you like to take a look at that?
Yes, Your Honor. Look at this.
This is ludicrous! The nerve of these Negroes! My God!
Your
the way we did it. So you're not gonna do me the way you did him. Sit down. Sit down.
I prefer to stand.
As professionally as I possibly can, I'm gonna ask you one more time, sit your down.
Make me.
On the way here, I stopped in Montgomery, Alabama. They picked up a little souvenir.
Trying to get you to sit down, Paul.
Now that's gangster. I do apologize, Your Honor. You know I'm better than that. But I do have a question. You think you can give me a hostel for this?
Baby, I do need further witnesses.
No, Your Honor, the plaintiff's threats.
Very well. We shall proceed to closing arguments, beginning with the defense, the Department of Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today you have witnessed a theatrical display from the plaintiff's attorneys and their parade of colorful witnesses. But let us take a moment and reflect on what we have truly learned today. One witness renounced his American citizenship and relocated to Ghana, trading insider secrets from the United States to a foreign country. The second stole and smuggled humans throughout the country. And the third was a disrespectful young man who crossed boundaries inappropriately with a married woman. What do these three witnesses all have in common?
They just like you for me.
They broke the law. Still, they're being presented as representatives of a narrative that seeks to justify a staggering demand of $18 trillion in reparations. Tell me, does everyone get a cut? Does everyone deserve a cut? Or we're just gonna hammer you out? We're gonna give some to you, and them. They get some too? Attorney Grubb, only 75% African. What do you get with that? 30 acres and a goat? Still, these attorneys will have you believe that their star witnesses, a mere snapshot of the vast African American community, merit an enormous payout from the Department of Justice. Throughout the patterns of inconsistencies and questionable actions from the very witnesses they brought forth, can you honestly say that their claims are credible? I am begging you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to think critically about the evidence brought before you today. Or better yet, the lack thereof. Let us strive toward a future where justice is truly served, not through unfounded claims, but through reasoned decision making. Together, we can make America great again! Trump 2026! Trump 2027! Trump 2028 and forever! Trump is king! Trump is king! Trump is king! This is your flag! You're in this country! Yours too, Bailiff.
Are you done? We know who your king is. The chief clown in charge from 1600 Pennsylvania.
I just want to know what it's smoking. What you smoking?
Plaintiff, are you prepared for your closing arguments?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I've been practicing law now for 40 years, and I've never seen this type of behavior in the courtroom. As an officer of the court, I apologize for what they have displayed. Now, understanding that they both are graduates of Trump University, you can't ask for anything better. Have to debunk some of the things and the disdain that they said. Let's start out with W.E.B. Du Bois. He said that because he went back to Africa, is that a crime? Well, he didn't go back to Africa. He was born in America. He went to Africa because he could. I'm from this school. I don't go where I'm not celebrated. I don't stay where I'm not tolerated. I go where I'm celebrated. However, he was a dual citizen. Dr. Du Bois spent many years going back and forth from Ghana to America, Great Britain. His son is buried there, his daughter is buried there, his mother is buried there in Great Barrington. So for him to accuse him of being a traitor to this country is absolutely ludicrous and disrespectful. That a man would spend almost 8 decades working for world peace. That at the age of 84, between 83 and 84, the Department of Justice put him on trial for fake charges as if he was some type of communist or some type of traitor to America. That's why I say you always have to watch out what you read and what you hear on Facebook, because this government has a history of taking black men that are doing successful things and trying to ruin their reputation with a lie. Dr. Du Bois is an American hero. And then Harriet Tubman, the one witness that lived through slavery. Now, I know you being an alum of Trump University, you probably didn't learn any Socrates. But Socrates said that an unjust law is no law at all. Harriet Tubman single-handedly witnessed this government allowing and endorsing slave owners to take slave ships over to Africa, put millions of black colored people on those boats that would take 3 to 6 months to get over here, tie them together like cattle. They defecated on each other. They ate in troughs like animals. And then to get over here and separate them from their people is an atrocity. Can you imagine the pain of being brought over here and separated from your children, separated from your family, and then treated like a dog? She said, I wasn't going to take that no more. And if we got enough people today that would stand up like Harriet Tubman and say, I ain't going to take that no more. If it wasn't for that type of tenacity that fought against the prick, fought against the enemy, that tried to convince them or hypnotize them that they were animals and not equal and not human. When you know who you are and whose you are, you don't have to take no mess. And then Emmett Till, a 14-year-old child that simply went down south, that wanted to see his family, went into a store and shared with his friends that I have white friends. We go to school together. We learn together. We play together. And because this prejudiced white woman didn't like the dialogue, in her sick mind felt like that was against the law. That was just wrong because he had a picture of he and some white kids. Made up a lie on him, but was even more sick that her husband and his brother felt that they could go into his uncle's house and bombard them, knock down his door in the middle of the night, and drag this child out of his house, out of his uncle's house, beat him with a stick until he was unrecognizable, shoot him in his head, gouge out his eyes, and then throw him in the Tallahatchie River and send him back to his mother in a wooden box. You have children. That was her only child. Her only child. And racism took him away. It is a case that's never been settled to this day. Emmett Till is the first Trayvon Martin. He's the first George Floyd. And to insinuate him to a criminal, as a criminal, and to say he didn't know the rules of the South. Who made up the rules of the South? Who died and made you God? That was never a law. Who's the criminal here? Now we're asking for $18 trillion in compensatory damages. Compensatory damages equal money that's owed for free labor. Now, he said that the slave owners are dead. I believe Attorney Clarence Thomas said that. So who are we going to sue? Well, the slave owners' descendants are still alive. And the slave owners' descendants still live, some still live in those big plantation houses that they use the millions of dollars that they made off of cotton and rice and other things that black people built that they never paid the African American former enslaved ancestors. Well, they never paid their descendants anything. Do you know what they inherited? They inherited a lie. They were promised 40 acres and a mule, which would have equaled about $400,000. Now America gave white people land. You want to know how they got land? America gave them the land. But what did they give black people? Nothing. They took the promise back and said, I tell you what, you don't have to be a slave anymore. You spent 240 years of that, but now we'll make you a sharecropper. So you can stay on my property, but you're not a slave, but I'm gonna pay you a quarter a day. And you're gonna pay me 20 cents a day to stay on my property, and you're gonna work for me. That's slaveology and dysfunctional psychology. They did that for 100 and some years. No home ownership. No real freedom. Because then there was segregation where the blacks, and it's amazing that the black people, you want to say, well, we can't give out this kind of money without some type of tutorial and education. But it's amazing how the black people back then took that nickel and turned it into home ownership. They took that nickel and fed families of 10. They took that nickel and they were able to, you know, it reminds me of 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. If you put it in the right hands. But don't tell me that you're not going to give it to me because I haven't been schooled on how to do it. If you never give me a chance, you'll never know. They never gave them nothing. 100 and something years, and then segregation comes. and forced the black people, if they wanted to come into a movie theater and pay the same quarter to see the movie, they had to go in a different door and sit in a different section. If they wanted to go to the dentist, they had the back door so they could go in a little rinky-dinky waiting area where the white folks could go in the front door. This is what punitive damages are for. We're suing for an additional $32 trillion in punitive damages. Why? Can you put a price on Mamie Till seeing her son beat up, unrecognizable? Can you put a price on the hell that black people have experienced and continue to experience in this country? Unappreciated. Barack Obama was the president and got this country out of a deficit, and then Trump comes in and tries to take the credit and then puts up a video as if he and Michelle are markets, and we supposed to take that? That's right. And you have people like Tim Scott in this half white and half black guy sitting up on his eight. I'm trying to say something. And saying that the leader of this government is not prejudiced. Punitive damages. But I want to tell you, from the great movie, The Color Purple, until you do right by me, everything in this country tries to do. If you can send these other countries, Uganda, or these other countries, foreign countries, and billions and millions of dollars, Ukraine, you can write them checks. You can't write the black people, descendants of the enslaved who built this country and took your ground, cleaned your pigs, and raised your kids, and built the infrastructure of America. Want to take everything. We're asking for $18 trillion in labor that was never paid. Compensatory. But we're asking for $32 trillion for the hell that this country has put the descendants of the slave through. One more thing, he said, well, how did you get those numbers? One of the top economists, as you'll see in the paperwork, Judge. That's how we got that figure. A white economist who specializes in reparations said in order to make the wealth gap, even in America, that this country would need to at least pay, even if they didn't pay the punitive damages, $18 trillion would give it an even keel, that every African American that was a descendant of a slave would get around $450,000, which would be life-changing. If they could do it during the pandemic, they can do it now. And my last thing, to even insinuate that black people are prejudiced, let us not forget over 2,000 years ago, there was a black man that hung on the cross. And he died for you. Sit down, he didn't die for you, you going to hell.
Thank you, counsel. That concludes the closing arguments. And now, jurors, I must give you your instructions. You've heard the evidence. It's your turn now to decide how this matter ends. Now, first of all, I need to express my sincere gratitude for your dedication and your commitment throughout these proceedings. I also must thank you for your patience. You had to sit through and endure a debacle of proceedings from these attorneys. I must apologize for the behavior, the unscrupulous behavior of both the defense, mostly, and the plaintiffs. Listen, the weight of this case rests squarely on your shoulder and your shoulder and your shoulder and your shoulder and your shoulder. You have the profound responsibility to determine if the plaintiffs deserve the compensation they are so passionately seeking. Now, I urge you to approach this with the utmost clarity of mind, because your decision must be unanimous. Let me repeat that. It must be unanimous. You cannot return with a hung jury or a split jury. It must be unanimous. Now I realize that this case is not just about facts and figures, but it really does tug at your heart. Runs deep, deep emotions, but I implore you to rise above the emotions so that you can seek the truth. Now remember, the choice you make today will not only impact the lives of everyone in this courtroom, but it will impact the lives of generations to come. So I trust that you will find the strength and the wisdom to render that unanimous verdict that I'm talking about. Now, as you make your way to the deliberation room, my bailiff here will guide you. I want you to speak to no one along the way. Don't look to the left nor the right. Keep your eyes focused and forward. Now, when you get there, you may refer back to any piece of evidence, any record, anything that you need to help you to render a unanimous decision. Our stenographer has been taking very good notes. As you go to the deliberation room, I implore you to allow the Lord to walk with you as you exit this courtroom. This court will remain in recess until you have arrived at a decision. Now let us proceed with the gravity that this case deserves.
Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Yeah. While I'm on this teacher's journey. I want Jesus every day of my life, just to walk with me. If you know, help me sing it. Walk with me. What's up in this field? Let me hear you scream! Listen, we want to take this moment to acknowledge some wonderful people. I'm going to ask Helen Monroe is also here. We want to acknowledge some wonderful people in the community, but I want to give you, the audience, a big shout out because you guys are wonderful. This community is powerful. To see these many people out tonight in Bennettsville changes the stereotype that people try to put on towns in the South. Let me tell you, I was born in the South. I might live in New York. And they'll tell me all the time when I'm up there singing, they say, yo, you gotta be from the South. Ain't nothing like good people from the South. So I celebrate you. We're getting ready to honor a few great people in the community for the things that they've done. But before we do, I want to reintroduce, you know her as Judge Judy. But this is Dr. Maxine Bryant, an earned PhD, a retired professor at Georgia Southern University, who taught Black history, who's an expert in it. And let me tell you, this great woman has invented a game she's going to talk about. It's a board game like Monopoly that every household needs to have it. Because